From the University of Maryland's Robert H. Smith School of Business, this is the Smith Report, Summer Edition. I'm Carrie Handwerker from the Office of Marketing Communications. This summer, we'll feature a series of conversations with Maryland Smith MBA students working as interns. This week, we're chatting with Laura Hayes. She's an intern in the Marketing Leadership Development Program at Ford Motor Company in Dearborn, Michigan, but she's working from home this summer in College Park. Hi, Laura. Thanks for joining us today. I am so excited to talk to you about your internship. Can you tell us where you're interning and what you're doing?
Yes, definitely. Glad to be here. I'm interning at Ford Motor Company, which is based in Dearborn, Michigan, but it is unfortunately remote this summer. So I'm working from home in College Park, Maryland.
So what exactly are you doing for Ford as an intern there?
I am working with their enterprise connectivity team on the improving the customer onboarding journey for the Ford Pass and Lincoln Way mobile apps. So I'm talking to a lot of different groups within Ford, such as the customer experience team and the GIA, Ford's analytics group, to find out different ways that we can improve the mobile app onboarding journeys for Lincoln and for Ford vehicles.
Oh, that sounds like a big job. It sounds interesting. So is this an app that that drivers would be using, or is it an app that they use internally at Ford?
So it would be apps that the vehicle owners would be using. So whenever you buy a new Ford vehicle or Lincoln vehicle, I believe it's 2018 models and newer, your vehicle is able to be synced with an app. So the apps have a lot of different connectivity features, like you can unlock your car from your app, you can start your air conditioning from your app. So it's a lot of features that provide drivers with more connectivity and allow them to make their life easier.
And how did you get the internship with Ford? Were you looking to go into the car industry, or tell us a little bit about how you landed there?
Yeah, so I was really open to the industry that I would be interning in coming into my MBA program. I used to work for the financial services industry and just wanted a new experience coming into the MBA program. So I was very open with the types of industries I was applying to. I applied to a wide variety of internships, from brand management positions to different marketing positions, the automotive industry, the CPG industry. There was a wide variety that I applied to. And I ended up finding out about the internship through the Prispanica career conference that was virtual last year. And that really kind of opened my eyes to Ford as an employer. I ended up learning that there were some Maryland students who worked at Ford, and so I connected with them, and then ultimately ended up interviewing and getting the internship.
So is the intern program a large one? Are there other MBA students interning with you at Ford?
The intern program at Ford is relatively large. There are a lot of undergrad interns and there are a lot of graduate interns specifically, but within the Marketing Leadership Development Program, that is very small. So there's only 10 Marketing Leadership Development Program interns, and I am one of them. So there aren't any other Maryland students who are interning there this summer. I believe there was one a few years ago who I connected with, but the Maryland students at Ford are unfortunately few and far between from what I have experienced. But yeah, those that I have met are very nice.
So have you been able to connect with those other interns? Can you tell me a little bit about, how you're doing that in this virtual situation, and, how do you connect with both other interns and keep in touch with your supervisors and other team members at Ford?
I think Ford provides a lot of different opportunities for me to connect with the interns and also with our supervisors. So at Ford, they're called people leaders. And we I usually have a weekly check-in with my people leader, just to make sure that the project is going smoothly, and that there aren't any elements that I need that are kind of outstanding. And I am working with a partner on the project. So there's two of us working on the project, which is nice, because you have someone else who also has a strong interest in making sure that the project ends up well. And so I've been able to connect with my supervisor on a weekly basis. We also have team meetings where we kind of run through what we have so far with the project, and that way other team members can also suggest improvements or other people to talk to. In terms of the MLP interns that I've been able to connect with, we have trivia nights. We've had like a cooking demonstration where there was an active MLP who kind of did walked us through like how to make, I think it was like chicken pasta, chicken Alfredo pasta. So that was nice to kind of both make a nice meal and also kind of connect virtually. So I think we're trying to make the most of the opportunities that we have virtually. I know Ford's intern group at large, there's a lot of opportunities to, they have these AMAs, Ask Me Anythings with executives. So we've had the opportunity to talk to, ask questions to like Bill Ford and Jim Farley. So there's a lot of opportunities to really connect that way and to ask executives your questions.
Sounds great. So working virtually, it sounds like maybe you're getting a little bit of a taste of the corporate culture. Can you clue us in on that a little bit more? What's your impression of the culture there?
So far, my impression of the culture is that it's been really great. Everyone is very willing to connect. Virtually, I know that even virtually people's schedules are very packed, especially since you don't need the time to walk from one meeting to another. So I've been really appreciative of people being able to meet with us and to provide additional reports and data. And also just for my own personal networking, I've reached out to a few people in other groups that I'm interested in outside of my own team. And they've been really receptive to me asking them questions. So so I feel like people have been really receptive. People are really nice. And it's been a great experience so far.
That sounds great. Now I want to shift gears a little bit. You mentioned that you had a finance background. Can you tell us what you were doing before you came to Smith and what brought you to Maryland Smith for your MBA?
I started out so after college, I knew I wanted to do something with marketing, and I ended up going into finance, having interned for a credit union in undergrad. And so I worked in another credit union for 3 years before going into Smith. And the reason that I decided to apply for MBA programs was because I really wanted to have a better understanding of how different departments influenced each other's decisions. So how finance decisions would influence marketing decisions and how accounting decisions would influence both of those. So I wanted to have a better understanding of how different departments work together to ultimately accomplish the company's goals. And I think that at least in my first year, has really been solidified, especially with the core classes the first semester, and has been really helpful with some of the talks that I've attended at Ford, with understanding how some of their goals are going to be accomplished.
What advice do you have for MBAs this fall looking for internships?
I think my best advice for students looking for an internship this fall is really just to get started early and get just a routine going with looking for internships. So I know I applied to dozens of them, and it's easy to get discouraged early on, but I would just say just keep the cadence. Have goals for yourself. If you're going to apply for this many each week and you're going to get these things done each week. And also just with winter break, just be ready to hit the ground running with applying for internships, because that's ultimately when I had my Ford interview. And because I was in the process of, going from interview to interview and applying for all these and doing the networking, I think I was in that cadence, and that really helped me to do well in the interview.
Great. So what are you most looking forward to this fall, being back in the program, in the MBA program?
Since we've been virtual the past year, I'm really just looking forward to meeting everyone, honestly. And I know I've met a few of my classmates, and it's been great so far. But yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing people in class and to see more of the business building, since I've been in it once, and just having the in-person MBA experience.
All right, Laura, thank you so much for joining us and for telling us a bit about your internship at Ford. We are really looking forward to seeing you back here on campus this fall.
Great being here. Thank you for having me.
That's our conversation with Maryland Smith MBA student Laura Hayes, who's interning this summer with Ford. Thanks, Laura, for sharing your experience with us. And thanks to you for tuning in. From the University of Maryland's Robert H. Smith School of Business, I'm Carrie Handwerker in the Office of Marketing Communications.